Welcome to day 2 of Dad and Kid coding. We're a little frustrated now because this is the third time we're recording this, and the first time we did a brilliant job. You'd love it. You should go and watch it if you can catch it in the ether. We did a great job of coding it, and then it turned out that the recording didn't get started properly because Dad did something wrong. So we went back and we did it a second time. We didn't code it this time, we just recorded it and talked it through and explained the code. And again, Dad didn't start the video properly. So
we did the same thing last time and it worked then.
Yes, love computers.
Yeah, that's pretty much an analogy for coding.
Yeah. So we're back for the third try, and this time it is recording. We're pretty confident, and so we'll explain the code to you. So
confident and tired.
Yes. So this is day 2, and it's about passwords. Not very good passwords, but passwords. So the first thing, or actually both part 1 and part 2, are to validate passwords, and here are 3 passwords. And the rule for validating passwords the first way is that we have, for each of these lines is a password. So this is the password at the end. And it has 2 numbers, 1 to 3 in this case, and a letter A. So this says for the first part that there have to be between 1 and 3 A's in the password. So this first one passes because there is 1 A, which is between 1 and 3. The second one says there's supposed to be between 1 and 3 B's. There are no B's, so this one doesn't pass. And the third one says there's supposed to be between 2 and 9 C's, and there are 9 C's, so that one passes. And all we're supposed to do is count the number of successful passwords, and in this case that is 2. Okay, so let's go over to our code and explore it some. So we have the test day 1 and day A and B from yesterday, and we have test day 2A here. So this is the rules that we just saw, or the passwords we just saw, and when we take that string, which I just copied and pasted directly from there, and send the day 2A message to it, it should return 2 because the first and the third ones are valid. And then when we take the data from the day, which is this long thing with about 1,000 passwords in it, we do the same thing with that. We send day 02A to that, and it turns out that equals 410. There are 410 valid passwords in that string. So let's go and see what the code looks like. So we're sending this day 02A message, and it's to string. So let's look at day 02A. And what it does is it calls self lines, which splits the input into lines. And then, actually, I'm going to go over to the test, and I'm just going to put a stop, a halt in here, so that we can run through and look at the code as we go. So let's just save that, and then we'll run the test. And it halts, and so we can step over things. So we'll step over that halt. Actually, I'll take the halt out because I don't want it after I show you this. And now we're going to we're ready to send this message into this string. So we're going to step into that. And here we are. Here's the string that we've got, and we're going to ask for self lines, and all that does is splits it into 3 lines on the line breaks. And then we are going to say, of those 3 lines, select all the lines where this is true. So it's going to send this message to each of the lines in turn, and if they return true, it's going to keep it. If it returns false, it discards it. So we're going to end up with, in this case, 2 lines, and then we'll check to see what the size of those lines is. So I'm just going to show you what we get from this. So if I inspect this, so this is what I get, which is the 2 lines where the password is valid. Okay, so let's restart and step over this. So what I need to do is step through to get to the to this code. So now I'm going to check to see whether this line is valid. And line is, as you can see, is this first password check. So I'm going to step into this. So this is going to take self, which is the password line, and it's going to split on this block. So this block says for each character is the character equal to, and this is the way we say literal characters in Smalltalk. So this is the character minus or the character space. And if it's either of those, we'll use that as a splitting point. So I'm going to step over this a couple of times so that we can actually set up strings. And now you can see that strings got turned into this collection of 1, 3, a colon, and A, B, C, D, E. So this is strings 1, 2, 3, and 4, or the first, second, third, and fourth. So strings fourth is the password part. So we're going to select, we're going to do a similar thing as before, except we're going to say, go through that string and find all the characters where the character is equal to the first character of the third string. So the first character of the third string. So that's this. So this is going to return a number of strings based on this. Sorry, it's going to return a string with the appropriate matching values kept, and only the matching values. So here we have a single A. So now when we take the size of that, it's going to be 1. And we want to validate that that is between the first string as number, which is 1, and the second string as number, which is 3. So we'll find out how many repetitions of the character are in this, and then verify that it's between these two numbers. And that is, it is, and so we get it correct. And the second one ran as well, and we found 410 values in it. So let's go to the second test for the day. Actually, let's go and look at the rules. So the second part is the same deal, except we use use a different password checking. So here we have that the password describes 2 positions in the password. So this 1 and 3 are the first and third positions in the password, where 1 means the first character and so on. Exactly one of these must contain the given letter. So in this case, we have A and C, because they're position 1 and 3, and A matches and C doesn't, so this one's valid. There's exactly 1. The second one, neither C nor E is a B, and therefore this is invalid. And the third one, the second and the ninth are both C's, and therefore this is invalid. So in this case, we should only get 1, and so that's we'll go and check that. And then this is the same input data with more values. Okay, so so here we are. We're doing the same thing as before, except we're doing day 2. And so I'm going to put a self halt again, just so that it's a little bit easier for us to work through the code. And so now I'm going to run this. Oops, I forgot to save it. And so it halts as expected. I'm going to take the halt out and save the code. And now we're going to send the day 02B message to this string. So let's step into that. And this does exactly the same as before, except it calls a different method on the individual line. So here's the method we're going to call. And This is similar to before. We're going to split into the strings. I named it this time, so we'll get the fourth string will be the password, and the first character of the third string will be the character we're trying to match. So let's step over a couple of times to get those values to match or to be set up. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to look at the password at here and see what value that has, and that's the value A, character A. And we want to see if that is equal to the character, so it is, returns true, and this as-bit method converts that to a 0 or a 1. So if I inspect that, I get 1, and the second one, if I, oops, if I inspect this, oops, inspected wrong. Oh. So inspect that, and I get 0 for that because the third character is C, not A. Okay, so this is going to be 1 plus 0 is going to be equal to 1, so this will be successful. And we're done. So hopefully that was, if a little brisk, a reasonably helpful explanation of the code. And of course we committed it to the repository, so you could find the code there if you're interested. So thank you for, I mean, I know you didn't hang around, but thank you for watching our third try at this video, and we'll see you all tomorrow.